What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the TCG Empire YouTube channel. Today we are going over Trash Deck Thursday. If you're new here, you're not sure what it is, it's where we take the deck of the week and pair it against its worst matchup. This week we are taking a look at Rob Lucci. Now, you would think because Rob Lucci is a black deck that it doesn't really do well against red because they're so aggressive. But I talked to Russell and I asked him, hey, regarding your particular list, what is the worst matchup you think? And he said Rob Lucci, simply put, because they have so much defense when it comes to characters that can't be KO'd by effects. So they always have board presence. And then you also have situations where they can pop your characters and clear your board. So you're kind of always behind on board. And not to mention that cards like Isho means that, if you try to hold hand advantage, you're going to be discarding too. So it's overall super tricky. It definitely is by far one of your hardest matchups. It's not unwinnable, but as red, you kind of have to be a little bit more cautious of things. You can't be as aggro as you normally are because your board's going to get wiped, or you're going to be in situations where things like Marco, Nico Robin, really anything that you use that typically you use to KO effects become kind of useless. Your jet pistols can trigger onto things like Borsellino when it's your turn. Or when it's your opponent's turn. So if they hit you and you hit jet pistol, you can kill the Borsellino. But you can't kill things like Smoker. You can't use your KO effects to get rid of their blockers, as we talked about on Tech Tuesday. The Fukuro blocker is really solid because it can't be KO'd. So Luffy tends to struggle with this just because of how much it uses Dawn to build up its board. Unlike Zoro, where, they can have 5 Dawn and play down 5 characters, Luffy tends to be on the more strategic side in the sense of not freely playing characters for such low cost, but making them beaters. Instead, they have to play things like a 3-drop, a 5-drop, 7-drop, 9-drop. And their 1-drops usually aren't being powered up enough unless there's Makino on the board and things like that. So this really gives it a run for its money in terms of, board control and things like that. So this is the deck list we're rocking today. Real quick, I'll go over it and then get right into the gameplay. So the Rob Lucci leader, you discard 2 cards from your hand, and then when an opponent's character is KO'd, you can set this leader as active. So you can have a double swing basically with your leader that has dual attack. Super solid. You do have to trash 2 cards, but you usually use this when you're going for lethal. And we have 4 Kuzan just so you can, recharge your hand and you're able to kind of give your opponent minus cost. And then we have Sakazuki, which pairs well with Kuzan to wipe boards. We have Suru, just a 2k counter, but you can give minus 2 cost. We have 4 Hina in here because the on block is fantastic. When it blocks, you're able to choose a character with a cost of 6 or less, and then that character can't attack. So they're already paying a ton of Dawn as a Luffy player to play characters down with Rush. And if they choose not to attack with it yet and choose to swing with something else, you can use the on block, go from there. 4 Borsellino, this is the best blocker aside from Fukuro. 4 Monkey D. Garp, again 2k counter. We have 3 Isho. Isho's in here simply put because it gives all of their characters minus 3 cost. And then if they have 6 or more cards in their hand, then they trash 2. So you win hand advantage. Then Fukuro, as we talked about, 4 brand new, just to simply search for your Navy cards. Then we have 2 Smokers. Smokers in here for the double attack, and it can't be KO'd by effects. 4 Tashigi. It's a 2k counter, super solid. 2 Monkey D. Garp. This is in here just so that way you can KO things like Marco's, the Marco blocker, things like that. The character doesn't have to be rested, so it's solid. Then we have 3 Meteor Volcano just so we can hit it off trigger to draw 2 trash 1, and you can also KO their 1-drop so they can't benefit off of Makino as much. And then you have 4 Shockwave so that way you can kind of clear the board more. So I know this is a little bit more in depth, but I just kind of wanted to talk about it really quick before the gameplay. Simply put, because Russell did say that this was one of his, kind of worst matchups in that sense of not being able to control their board. So as always, thank you guys for watching today's video. If you do enjoy it, smash that like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's Final Standings Friday. Alrighty guys, so we're going to be playing red against Red Luffy. We are going to go first just simply for the factor that I can be on the 135 curve. It definitely would have been better to go on the 246, but 135 isn't terrible either. Looking at this start, we have some removal, we have a searcher, we have a 2k counter. I think I'm gonna mulligan that hand, and this hand is not looking much better. But we can at least, you know, take some early hits, go from there. And he does play 1-cost characters, which means that we can kind of deplete his board and go from there. So we have 2 2Ks in hand, 3 Sakazukis. Not really where we want to go, but, you know, it definitely isn't the worst. So we did top deck a brand new, which is good. So brand new can actually grab us a Navy card. We're just going to grab Shockwave. And then what we're going to do is, honestly, we're just going to swing 6. Go from there. Next turn we will be at 5. So he uses Fire Fist. He does KO the brand new, which is fine. It's not the worst thing in the world. Being at 5 next turn, we can actually leave Shockwave open. And then Nico Robin is actually pretty solid for us to use. So there's a 6k swing. We're just going to block the 6k and then we'll take the 7k. Oh, our opponent does another 6k. That's fine. So we do get Borsalino. Borsalino is going to be super solid. I think what we'll do is we'll use Borsalino and then we can KO the Machino. We can use the leader's action. We'll just get rid of the 2 Sakazukis because honestly, like, dealing with the Sakazuki is not worth my time right now. And we can just work on depleting his board so that way he can't get as many cards in hand, and then we'll go from there. And then Borsalino can't be KO'd by Nico Robin either, so, and Marco's pretty solid. So it was a 7k swing. The 7k we're fine with taking, and we are at 7 now. So that means that we can do, let's see, we'll be at 9 next turn, so they'll get -3, and then Smoker will be able to have double attack the following turn, and then we have 2 open for the Shockwave. So that seems pretty good to me. So we'll just do a 5k swing. And then providing that he has 6 or more cards in hand too, we can force him to dump 2. So we'll be in a solid spot for sure. So let's see if our opponent wants to take this. And Smoker can't be KO'd by effects either, which is fantastic. So we'll play down the Smoker. We'll leave 2 open for the Shockwave, and then from there we can kind of start setting things up. So I will use Isho, or I probably will use the Shockwave to start getting rid of things. I'm not sure why my opponent decided to do that, but that's fine. So we will just do a we'll do no blocker. We'll use Shockwave, and let's see. I want to leave this 1 on board. That way I can consistently get the double attack. So honestly, actually, no, we'll just do the Nami. I don't think my opponent realizes though that he can't pop Borsalino unless he just wants to put it at the minus, which is fine. So we'll take this hit. I'm fine with that. This 6k, we'll happily block that. There's the Monkey D. Luffy, another 6k swing. We'll just dump the Suru for that. And now we can start working on clearing our opponent's board. So let's see. The first thing that we'll do is I want to force him to dump some cards. So let's see. How do I want to? We'll do a 5k swing, because then if I play the Isho, get double attack, things like that. If he chooses to take this, then we can play the Isho and he has to dump 2 anyways, and then we're in an even better spot. And if he chooses to dump a card, that's fine too. I am not upset with that at all. So he chooses to take, which is good. So then we'll play the Isho. We get rid of 2 cards. We get rid of 2 guard points, which is fantastic. And then what we can do is let's see, what's the best way I want to go about this? Because I could go 8k, diminish his hand, go from there, which sounds pretty fine to me, actually. So yeah, we'll go 8k into the Luffy, see if he wants to dump another guard point. Okay, so he lets it go, that's fine. Next turn, we should be pretty solid, actually. There's no way that I die next turn, so yeah, I'm fine. If he gets rid of this smoker, it's gonna be a little bit awkward, but I should be okay enough to where it shouldn't be going, because he has to commit at least 3 here, 3 here, and that's just a simple, that's a 9k, which would dump my whole hand to combo it, but otherwise I think we're okay. And he only has 3 cards in hand, so okay, there's a Gordon. It does a 7k swing. Let's see. Let's see. If I choose to take this, he can potentially go all out next turn. You know what? I'm going to take it. I feel comfortable doing so. There's another 7k. So let's see. If he puts 2 here, that's only 8k, and we can still 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we're going to break the block for that. I could have out-comboed it and left my blocker up, but there's an 8k, so I need to hope to get a 2k counter off of this. Oh, that's so risky. So we draw 2, trash 2. So we draw 2 and then trash 1. We can just trash the Sakazuki. And then he has a 9k swing, so we can out-combo that, which is fine. And then we should be able to win next turn. So we can go to Shigi, Suru, and then also get rid of the brand new for 10k. And then we can go from there. And we can also leave some open for everything else. So the first thing that we'll do, let's see. So put a Dawn on here, and then we get the double attack. So we can do 8, 9. So we can do a 9k double attack. He's gonna have to take this. And then now 2, 4, 6, 8. We can just put this to 8 Dawn, 17, and then just hit. So it looked kind of dicey in the beginning, but the aspects of not being able to KO characters really did kind of work tough against my opponents. So as always, thank you guys for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, smash that like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Otherwise, I will catch you guys in tomorrow's Final Standings Friday.